Hello and welcome to Trust Your Glitter. I'm on a minute early on my live stream and I'm on a minute early here on Zoom. So welcome to the podcast. This is for astrology for the week of, and let me just move this camera. Little background of tech check right now because I went on a little too early, but I wanted to see if this camera was working. And, if anybody pops on the live, you are welcome to ask me any questions. I have my tarot cards out. Welcome to the week ahead. Trust your glitter. We got a lot of astrology, and this is the Capricorn Full Moon special. So I wanted to kind of be in the energy of this upcoming full moon. I also want to say happy 4th of July to those who are in the US celebrating. I hope you have a great holiday weekend, and that the insights from this podcast can help in some kind of way if you're moving through some energy. This full moon tonight is a big one. We're opening up our week with this Capricorn full moon. So I want to kind of get into the transits and the aspects of the week, and then just kind of be in a chill sort of like hangout energy today. So I actually am going to open up the chart on here because I tested to see if I can. And okay, so we have our Capricorn full moon at 11 degrees, and that is at 7:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, July the 3rd. The thing about this upcoming full moon that I think is really important to note is that Mercury is conjunct this full moon at 14 degrees of Cancer. So the sun, Mercury conjunct the sun at 14 degrees of Cancer opposes, pardon me. See, this is the thing. This is when, look, my perfectionism, y'all. Okay. With this, so the thing that I think is really important about this full moon is a couple of different things. So what we know about Capricorn is that Capricorn's home planet is Saturn. And the things that I kind of want to look at with this full moon is the fact that Saturn's in retrograde in the sign of Pisces at 7 degrees. So I want to kind of take a peek at where Saturn's up to with this full moon, and also the fact that Pluto is retrograde at 29 degrees of Capricorn. Now, Pluto is not conjunct the full moon at all, but Pluto-Saturn energies do have an influence on this particular full moon itself. So we're going to kind of take a peek at this because Saturn especially is asking us about life purpose, and the fact that this full moon is in Capricorn is also asking us about our life purpose and our career and our path, and then also does kind of a callback to January when we had a new moon in Capricorn. And also we're kind of looking at, this broader perspective of the fact that Saturn is in retrograde and in a nice position with Jupiter, who's in sextile, meaning kind of in this very harmonious friendship sort of sign to Saturn. So Jupiter being in the sign of Taurus. And the thing about this as well is with this Jupiter sextile, it's about sort of the luck, but is it luck when it comes to hard work? And there's this sort of sound off between, is it that you're extremely lucky in more of a Sagittarian way, or is it because you've put in the time, you've put in the effort, you've put in your years of experience, and now it's time for you to kind of allow things to come towards you during Cancer season, when we're being asked to kind of allow the divine feminine here. Now, it just so happens, we have this Capricorn full moon, which is a masculine energy, Cancer being ruled by the moon. So there is this sort of callback situation. There's this sort of inner dialogue that happens when we have Mercury so close to the sun. And the full conjunction happened this weekend on the 1st. So there's a lot going on here, kind of bringing this conversation to fruition. So I wrote some 3 key points to this particular full moon in Capricorn, which is, one thing is digesting these cosmic insights. This is not something that We had a lot of Uranus energy going on throughout the last few weeks. You know, we're going to have an Aquarius full moon coming up. There's going to be a lot of more zippy zappy energy on the way, especially the fact that, you know, we still have Mars and Venus in the sign of Leo. And, you know, with Venus in shadow, she's also getting us ready for this Venus retrograde that's going to be happening on July 22nd. And also, happy July. We're in a new whole month. We are halfway through this 2023 situation. I like this year, as I say on every stream that I do. I really like 2023 astrologically. I think it's giving us a lot of integrative lessons that really do hit home and really do stick with us, because next year we're going to be going to a year of 8 where the abundance energy rolls through, and all of the lessons that we received during 2023 do guide us towards a more infinite experience. So we are in a digesting cosmic zone right now with this particular full moon. And when we look at Capricorn, Capricorn rules the musculoskeletal system. So one of the things that I kind of want to speak on is the fact that we are getting that physical download. The body does keep score. And I will keep talking about this because this is really important to the fact that Pluto is well back in the sign of Capricorn and asking us to really go through that generational wound trauma. And the story does not stop. The story continues. The energetic passing of the wands keeps going throughout this year. And especially with Venus going retrograde, we are being asked to kind of look at our power structures in a very constructive manner with this full moon in Capricorn. That's what I would say. So there are generational messages that come through. And if you do have things like, if you're like, for example, I'm going through a lot of old notebooks and old letters that were sent to me when I was younger, and I'm getting messages from the other side that way. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that this was sent to me, or this was, you know, I found a letter from many years ago, and I realized that's kind of what the lessons are right now, is to go back into kind of our old memories and these old storage places that we've compartmentalized with all this Capricorn Pluto energy, and really reassess what that meant to you. Why was that energy compartmentalized? Why was that stored away? How do you release this in a constructive manner? So I'm going to be posting daily on Trust Your Glitter through the audio part of this app. So this, you know, my videos are going on Spotify and Rumble and YouTube, but on Spotify and iTunes and everything, I will be doing a daily sort of update for a couple of days. I'll see how long that'll extend out, but I'm basically digging into that kind of with the idea of creating a higher vision for myself, and then creating kind of a series of, you know, if anybody's ever made a vision board, how you redirect that vision for yourself. So a vision board is a very organized method of setting your goals. I definitely recommend it to anybody. And in this particular full moon space, this is a really good time to assess those goals again and say, you know, these are the career goals. What went wrong in the past? What would you change, say, from like 2015, 2016? You know, what piece of these goals need to be changed? What piece of these goals needs to be, it's so deep. That's the thing, is this is such deep work. It's not just saying that you're just going to get this job and do this thing. It's like saying, what is your purpose here on earth? Why are you here? And if you keep revisiting the same themes and the same processes, and, you know, putting yourself on a YouTube video because you love to do something and not knowing where it's going to go, you know, these are the kinds of things that these energies are saying, really, it's time. This is now. This is now. We're in the now. There's no more procrastinating. We are in the now. And it is about following these hunches that you're getting. Because Capricorn is the physical downloads. You feel it in your body, you feel it in your bones, you feel it so deep in your soul. So this is a really big full moon. It's a super moon, meaning it's elliptically close to the earth physically. And I do feel like we are meant to really take extra special care of our bodies with this full moon energy. Especially like if we're reassessing generational wounds, this is also related to, the economy, the patriarchal structures that embody this. And it's also interesting. I'm going to open up my chart for a second and just take a peek. So one of the things that I didn't really discuss is that, we have Venus. Today she's square to Uranus. So she's in the square energy that we started out last week with when it came to Mars in Leo at 21 degrees of Leo, square Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus. So today, when I record this on the 2nd, it's Venus time, baby. She is square to Uranus, and she's like, what is up with your heart? Okay, like what were these relationships really about in your life? And yes, this is related to romance. And Lilith and Venus and Mars have been trailing each other for the last few weeks, and we're still going to have this connection, and it's going to be taking us through the next 2 weeks-ish. Probably right before Venus goes retrograde. So just a few days before Venus goes retrograde, we have sort of this energy of Mars and Venus and Lilith, and also one of the asteroids that I did not count in my videos is also Pallas Athena has been there as well with Venus, Mars, and Lilith. And Pallas Athena brings wisdom to this energy. She's the goddess of basically structure, wisdom. She's bringing philosophical questions. She's bringing overreaching organizational structural questions to Mars and Venus and being like, hey, like, do you want your romantic relationships to look this way? This Capricorn full moon is being like, especially for those who have been married or in situationships where you have, property and kids and deeds and contracts, this is a full moon for you. This is a full moon to kind of look at this as well and be like, how has this been working out? How has this looked for you? Because this is a long-term planning structure. It's interesting how this live stream's going tonight. I'm just going to go with it. Like sometimes I have a pop-in live stream. I thought doing it later tonight would be better, but it's a quiet night with the full moon. And so I'm going to put these on both of my, I'm going to be doing this. And the reason why I do live with my Zoom is because I'm a stand-up comedian, and the live element to me feels more natural and more normal and more like families popping in and out, even though you can hear an ice machine in the back. And I had a fan on earlier and all these things. I'm here, come to the table with me and sit with Christy, because it's at the end of the day, we experience the energy of the moon. We experience the energy of these transits. We experience the energy that goes on, and we're being asked all these big questions at once. And it's hard to synthesize like, hey, the fact that the full moon is in an earth sign, but at the same time let me just open up this chart yet again. At the same time, we have the North Node in an earth sign. We have Pluto in an earth sign. We've got Saturn in a water sign. Neptune's now retrograde in a water sign. Chiron in a fire sign. Jupiter in an earth sign. Uranus in an earth sign. Then the Sun and Mercury are in water signs. And then we've got Mars, Venus, Lilith, and Pallas Athena in fire signs. So there's not a lot of air going on right now. It's so interesting that we went through all of this Gemini, and now we're in reframing, recontemplating. It's poetic. It's like really kind of hard to get the feelings out, even though the feelings are steamy and bubbling under the surface and meant for us to feel like we are in this cauldron of energy. So we don't have a lot of transits this week. We have the full moon, and then on the 9th, so the full moon's on the 3rd, and then on the 9th, we have the last quarter moon. So this is a really important lunar week. The moon is the main focus. Our lunar energies are our main source of power. What's bubbling under the current is the fact that we do have to sit with these contemplative questions of, you know, what are you building? What did you build so far? If you build it, they will come. That kind of structure, that kind of story, following this. And then the aspects for the week, you know, we have the Venus square Uranus today, which is supposed to feel a little bit frictiony. It's supposed to be the friction that allows us to release the full moon. So full disclosure, I'm going to also I just started actually filming today. I don't know how I'm going to edit it out. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I am filming like a vision board course. I don't know how I'm going to release it, but I'm saying it because I'm putting out these intentions. So I had 3 vision boards that have gone with me everywhere. And one of my vision boards was with me when I was traveling for comedy during the pandemic. It was in the backseat of my car, and I got into a huge car accident in Wyoming. I was in my car, and I had to crawl out of the passenger side. It was a very large, several car related accident, and I was the only car actually. It was 2 18-wheelers, an SUV, and a pickup truck, and then me in a Hyundai Elantra. So when I went back to the tow truck yard after several days and checked my car, none of my property was damaged other than the car. And shining in my car was this green vision board that I had made on Thanksgiving of 2020 with my friend. We made vision boards during Thanksgiving during the pandemic. And to me, that's a symbol of so many things because it was a near-death experience for me. And because of that NDE, my life will forever be changed. And a lot of my boundaries and energy around work, I've had to reframe over the years, especially during the pandemic, which during the pandemic, it was Capricorn was front and center for all of us. That was Capricorn shifting Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn energy shifting us all as a society. So I was looking at this vision board for several weeks as I'm kind of healing and going through a process of healing a lot of my depression and anxiety. And I'm saying this for all the people out there who have prominent Saturn charts. My last live, I had my incredibly wonderful friend, Vanessa Jiha, on Facebook Live, Trust Your Glitter Live, talking about her experience as a natal Capricorn sun. And we discussed this issue because Capricorn is karma. And the Lord of Karma is also the Lord of Time, also known as Kronos, and often feared, especially in the conspiracy community. Saturn is often looked at as sort of kind of an evil side, but Saturn's anything but evil. Saturn is like that old wise father, although if you see is it the dark crystal? What's the labyrinth? If you see the labyrinth, that's like another depiction of Saturn. It's like David Bowie is basically representing Lord Kronos. Like that's what his character is, and he's super in love, and it's with Jennifer Connelly's character. It's like a depiction of like Saturn moon. Like to me, in my opinion, like the labyrinth is definitely a representation of the bullshit that Saturn puts somebody through their fucking Saturn return. That is a weird, you go through the fucking Goblin Swamp King. Look, I'm just saying, okay, if like David Bowie, if Saturn looked like David Bowie in those pants, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. That is kind of the depiction of what Saturn puts people through. It's like he puts us through this labyrinth, and there's like whatever, something of the bog of the eternal stench, and you're like chasing a baby, but the baby's you, because at the end of the day, we're just these natal experiences of ourself, and really you're just chasing your innocence. But the reality is, on this fucking physical planet, none of us are really, we are all taken away from that initial seed of who we are, and then we're being asked to be put through things. That is Pluto Saturn shit. That is fucking, watch the movie The Labyrinth. Okay, so we have Venus square Uranus today. And then on the 6th, we have the sun at 19 degrees of Cancer, and the sun is square to Chiron in Aries. But do not fear, because at some point this week, we're going to have a trine. When is this baby trine? Oh, Mars. Mars is trine this. Mars and Venus, Lilith and Pallas are basically trying this energy as well. So even on the 6th, when we have the sun square Chiron, which can be tough, the big light in the sky after a full moon, and after a Mercury conjunction in Cancer, is like, all right, we're in all these emotions, and then we have tension with the wounded healer aspect within ourselves. So that's an interesting thing to look at as well, but do not fear, because Lilith and Venus and Mars and Pallas Athena are here. That's basically, and why is this good? It means that from Gemini season to Cancer season, we're still being given a gift of reassessing our values. And with the North Node still in Taurus, now the North Node is going to be shifting, and we will talk about that, because this is also part of our Venus retrograde time, and it's very symbolic because there's a Venus-Mars interplay energy with the divine twin flames. So the divine twin flame aspects are legit just they're finding each other in Leo right now. They're finding each other in the realm, in the sign of self-expression. It just so happens that the sun, which is Leo's home planet, is in Cancer. And when the sun is square Chiron, it means, well, we have to kind of look at the interplay between all of these planets in Leo, and then also the fact that the sun is square to Chiron, saying, well, there's harmony, and then there's disharmony. There's preparation, but then there's things you can't prepare for. There's surprise, and then there's things that you just, because of these surprises, you don't want to have to deal with it. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of shift between responsibility and self-respect. Mars is also quincunx to Neptune. Now Mars at 27 degrees of Leo, quincunx Neptune on the 6th. So if you're gonna really, this is romance stuff. So if anybody's having any romantic confusion, this is also the divine masculine may be acting a little bit, they're showing a little bit of their feathers, you know? There's a little peacocking here. Neptune's in retrograde in Pisces. Just the gift, again, getting back to the gift of this full moon, is you feel it. So it's like, okay, cute. That real cute. That's cute. Sure is cute. The full moon is in a Saturnic sign. So it's like, okay, well, that's cute. Let me file my nails here. All right. And then the next day, Mercury sextile to Uranus. So you see it, you see the confusion, even though it's like, sometimes people come to me. I've had to cut people off of readings and be like, I'm not going to read for you for 6 more months until you get out of this situationship. The outer planet, if you don't listen to me, Pluto's going to do it. Saturn's going to do it. And Venus retrograde sure as hell is going to do it. You know what I mean? So if you're in a situationship and you know it and you don't want to admit it, I don't need to pull no cards for that. I don't need to pull no cards for that. I did pull a card. I did pull a card. It's the 6 of Wands. Let me pull another card for it. Oh, it's the King of Swords. Oh, he came out. You remember the King of Swords, my friends? If you're a long-time listener, this baby has been coming out, and you want to know when he came out the first time? Do you want to know when this motherfucker came out the first time? The Aries solar eclipse. Do you really want to be dealing with this full all the way through 2024? I understand fate and karma and contracts and soul contracts and things like that, but just be aware. Just be aware. This is the same motherfucker. This is the same motherfucker. Did I not tell you? Did you not listen to me on this live stream? Did you not listen to me on this Zoom thing where I have a background that I made on Bazaar that doesn't match my skin tone? That does not match this fucking oily situation of here right now. If I could have a fan in front of me this whole time, I would, just blasting me so I look like I'm just walking through like a Central Park like situation, but I can't right now. This is where we're at right now. We're at humidity, okay? And boy, oh boy, is it, honey, is it gonna be humid when you don't listen to the fact that this Venus retrograde is causing a little bit of a situationship, okay? Look at that, the devil is out, all right? Again, fanning the flames, all right? Oh, look at that. I cannot make this shit up, all right? I turned the fan on, I'm sweating, and now you're getting the Aries spice out. The Lovers is out. Okay? All right? I get it. They're cute. Okay. So on the 9th, Mars is quincunx Pluto, and I'm here for it. The reason I'm here for it is because we had that Mars quincunx Neptune. Pluto's going to come around and bring you, as I try, Pluto is going to come around and bring you the real on it. You can't escape the Lord of Karma, even if you wanted to. You can't sit in this fantasy. Venus retrograde's going to make sure of it. She is going to make sure of it. So let me pick some more cards. And I'm just going to do general messages for the full moon. We're going to do kind of like, what do we need to know with the full moon? And I just have to be a real person on this video. I know there's a lot of I watch a lot of astrology and tarot readers over the years. There's a lot of real love and light people. And then there's people like me who I get it. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. I like this. It's like, run, baby, run. Okay, let's do some Kali cards for the full moon. This is not Kali's full moon, but I'm thinking in terms of, we have so many planets in fire. We are in Venus retrograde. The full moon is trying to get us to commit to ourselves. And Kali is definitely a no frills, no bullshitter. She's definitely like, let's get to the heart of the matter. I'm gonna do 3. Let's get to the heart of the matter of this. Really listen to this. What is the greatest thing to say here? What is the most helpful message? Because this is big work. These are cardinal, this is cardinal and fixed energy. And if you've watched my lives, pronunciation, it comes from here. It comes from here. When I pronounce things, I'm sending love and apologies already, but just know it's from the heart and it's from the deepest well of love that you could ever receive. So here's our card. And this is our message. Full moon message number 1. Bhuvanswari. I did a good job. Bhuvanswari. She is the rising sun, marking the end of darkness and the replenishment of life force after illness or devastation. She creates a clean slate and a fresh start. She protects and preserves that which is worthy of the heart. She shines in a perpetual state of divine beauty and radiance, attracting to us the most supportive and honoring circumstances. So what I really love about this particular message is that there is an ending of darkness and the replenishment of life force, creating a clean slate. And with a full moon, if some people might be making moon water out in the full moon, this is a really good time to let things go. This is a really good time to throw things away, to write a letter, cut it up, throw it in the trash. And I was talking about my vision board earlier. This is a really good time to get yourself in prep mode. What are you throwing out? And what do you want to goal or to set your goals towards going ahead? We have this card out. Shamuda. Knowing what to allow and what to fight for against requires wisdom. Shamuda is the fearlessness, wisdom, patience, and discipline required to conquer a difficult situation. Chamunda is the power to accomplish what you need and desire. So that's resetting these goals. There was something that came undone, especially with Uranus square, especially with these shadows coming out. And the word here that I see is power. And this is, where is your power in this situation? Where do you hold power in this situation? Where has your power been seemingly taken away? Where did you give away power? How do you find that inner strength again? And let me tell you, with all these planets in Leo, we are being asked to really, really, really align with that inner strength. To align with that inner strength within ourselves. So this is getting back to Shamuda. She is with you now. Her presence now portends a truly exceptional breakthrough on your path. I do think this is a week of like, the breakthrough is being like, I cannot take this bullshit anymore. And because you understand that you cannot take this bullshit anymore. It gives you the freedom and the power to put that momentum and energy into something else. And I'm a woman, I'm a cis woman, and I definitely understand what the dating world is like. And for those who are listening on either side of this, of either of these perspectives, I very much understand that we are in Venus shadow right now. The shadow aspects are coming out in people's hearts and romantic, sort of all around, romantic situations all around. With Lilith being also in Leo and Pallas Athena, if you've ever been in a situationship, for example, with a lot of these Pluto energies, where you knew you were not choosing the healthy situation and holding on to maybe some sort of thing where you were a third party, Lilith, or where you were in a situation where you were not in a healthy situation, you are being given the higher perspective here with Pallas Athena. Now she's going to be entering another sign, but that will be next week. But her final caution to Venus before she enters Virgo is she's saying, I know what you're about to go through. I know what you're about to embark on, says Pallas to Venus. Hear me out this week. I mean, she's been up in these signs for a while, but this is her time to give you those lessons with this full moon, with the karmic Lord himself. And Kali, Miss Kali, is the karmic lordess. So, mantra Shakti. Do not allow negative thought or speech to undermine your inner spiritual connection. So with Mercury conjunct the sun, this is very important in the fact that this is in opposition with the full moon. Claim your voice and your power. See to express yourself from your heart. I'm a dork. Though it may not yet be visible in your physical world, a new order, not an NWO, it is generating within the soul. And in time, it shall manifest in a transformation that heals your inner world and improves your physical life circumstances too. I just said that. I literally just said what this card just said. I said what this card said. The power is within. Pluto. Dang, this Capricorn energy is strong. Call back. Calls me back to the summer of 2016. Or was it 2017? 2017. Call back to the summer of 2017 when we had Saturn and Capricorn. Oh my God. And who else was there? Was Jupiter there? I think Jupiter was there. Okay, we're going to do some concluding cards. Just to kind of vibe. Oops. That's the one I already had out. I'm doing 6 cards. Why? Because karma, baby. Can you see me on the camera? Oh yeah, you can. That's cool. I don't know if it gets the table, but it'd be nice to have a table cam one day. All right, the cards on the table. We have the Page of Swords reversed. The Sun reversed. This is for the full moon in Capricorn. 4 of Pentacles reversed. Strength reversed. 3 of Pentacles, a karmic contract, and I think that's Venus, Mars, Lilith with Uranus. And that's reversed. And the 7 of Cups, I think this is Neptune. This feels super Neptunian to me, but we also have Saturn in Pisces retrograde. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's in retrograde? We have 5 cards are reversed. So I think it's going to be talking about, we have Saturn in retrograde, which I think is this one, the 3 of Pentacles. We have Neptune retrograde. We have Venus in shadow to go retrograde. We have Pluto retrograde. And then we're approaching a Uranus retrograde. And then we'll be stepping into a Mercury retrograde, but that's not yet. So the way I view this, the only card that is face up or not reverse is the 7 of Cups. So I think the choices being made during these retrogrades, because this particular full moon is giving us a choice to look at a long-term process or a long-term longing or a long-term way of being. But it's the choices that we make now that give us this ability to make those plans. So this gets into like, if you want to buy a house, if you want to get married, are you dating people that, if you want to get married, are you dating people that are healthy for you? Out of these cards, this is the only sort of lover's situationship card that I see, and the 3 of Pentacles is, I'm feeling this is Saturn retrograde. And as you can see, this is like very karmic. This is rebuilding your karma with the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles. Oh, I like how that looks. We'll keep it like that. It fell into the sky. Strength reversed. I don't read reversals for major arcana as a bad thing. I view it as like you really, really need to dig deep into your well of inner strength and see that you're unique. I honestly think that this is the connection right now with Venus in shadow. Uranus will be going retrograde. And this is the dynamic between sort of a Uranian energy and a very fixed energy. And fixed signs don't want to move. And if you look at this lion, he definitely does not want to move. He's like, do not make me go. I'm scared. I'm cowardly. And the unicorn's like, no, you're just a fucking unicorn. Find your inner unicorn, lion. And then you can see on his face, he's like, but I don't know if I'm a lion. But the sun, Sir Lion, the sun represents who you are. You shine. You're a Leo. You're here to shine. Your season's almost here, but we've got to go through this really mighty Cancer season. And believe me, it is a humidity steaming up your hair kind of season. It is we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there here. We're not going to go there here, are we? It's a yeast infection waiting to happen, okay? I went there, I did. Page of Swords reversed. Also kind of coincides with this Knight of Swords that was just sitting nice and pretty on the table and saying to run. This guy doesn't know yet that he can run. He doesn't know that he's able to go off on his own yet. He does not know. He does not have that knowledge yet because he's a little page with this full moon. 4 of Pentacles reversed. I don't really like how they depicted the 4 of Pentacles in most of the tarot decks. Because see, See how he's a little scared? You know, let's pick a card over the Four of Pentacles. I don't like how this card is depicted here. So let's just get a clarifier so I can get a little bit more information on how the Four of Pentacles is kind of vibing with us with this full moon in Capricorn, taking us into the next 2 weeks with the new moon coming up in Cancer, and how this is going to flow out. Okay. You are more abundant than you realize. Get the fuck out of your own way. Eight of Swords. You have more than enough to give. You have more than enough. And I feel like this is creatively. I feel like this is self-doubt. This feels, Four of Pentacles is usually about like finances and feeling like you have to kind of like hoard it, or like a hoarder's card. So I said this one for during Taurus season when I picked this card. It was like, you know, you can share, but in this particular case, I think it's like you can share your gifts. You can share yourself to the world. And the reason why is this little swords guy. He's like not quite sure. He's in reverse. He's not quite sure if his knowledge is meant to be shared. Well, if you're a writer, you're a speaker, you're a singer, this is definitely you just putting your work out there and just like, it's here, it's out on the table. Let Leo season do its thing, but just get it out there. Get it out on the table. Venus retrograde is going to feel really awkward. It's just going to not feel like, it's always going to feel like, am I good enough? Is this good enough? It's not supposed to feel stellar. It's not supposed to feel like it's at its pinnacle, because it's in process. It's in process. It's interesting that a lot of air cards are out in the table, and there's not a lot of air energy with us this week, other than like the Uranian squares. But even Uranus is in an earth sign, and Uranus has been fixed. Not like castrated, but like fixed. Although castration is very Uranian. It's how Uranus was technically born. Well, anyway, I'm on a tangent. Any final questions or concerns that the guides want to bring with my weird Capricorn energy right now? Look, I have a Saturn conjunct moon, so I am like vibing with this energy. My weird is just out. One more card. I really want to feel like deep in the core layers of Mother Earth. Okay, and the bottom card is this Ace of Pentacles. First card out is the Three of Cups reversed. Second card out for any final, like, what do we need to know? What is the energy? The Moon. I love it. Love her. Love her to be here. And then we have the Sexy and Steamy, but he is reversed. King of Cups reversed. That is Saturn. Saturn is a key player here. All I keep hearing is embrace your heart. Speak from your heart. And the interesting thing is, I've never seen on this King of Cups before, he has a cute little fish necklace. So adorable. Oh, his energy is really good. So I feel like Saturn sextile to Jupiter is really asking us to just lean into love. But it's so confusing because the past meets the present meets the future. So what does a future goal for you look like when it comes to long-term relationship goals, friendship goals, career goals? How do these coincide? Who is your crew and your team that comes along with you? Have you met them yet? and trusting your glitter on this situation, because the moon wants to take us somewhere else. And I actually really want to see. I'd love to see how this full moon takes us into this 17 degrees Aries last quarter moon. How this solidifies a lot of situations. Mercury this week is moving so fast. Mercury is going to bring a lot of messages. That's, I think, what that little Page of Swords was. Mercury is just clipping along all the way through the end of the week. I just feel like there's just one more thing I gotta know. Then I will conclude. Trust your glitter for this week. Okay, there's that ace back out. There's just something that I have to dig into, and I haven't gotten to it. There's only so many ways you can just be like, look at your relationships, love yourself. That's really what she wants to say. 5 of Cups. So we have Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles on the table, 5 of Cups. And anybody else just want to come and bring us a finalized? There we go. The bottom card there. Ace of Cups is the bottom card. Interesting. Who is this? 10 of Cups. All right, we got the 3 and the 10 of Cups. Okay. There's something. So here's how I feel these cards. There's something out of sight right now. And I'm saying this to myself, like if I were doing this reading for myself that's on the table, there's something you cannot see right now, but you just have to trust that it's there. You have to trust that it's there. You have to believe in yourself that it's there. This is like motivational speaker time. You have to believe that it's there. Trust this. Trust the hunch. You have to believe that Saturn has your back. Saturn in Pisces, sextile Jupiter, is saying this is a delay. That's the point of retrogrades. The point of retrogrades is to take you back into the past. The point of Cancer season is to feel that nostalgia. The point of all of this is to dig deep, deep into your soul. Capricorn full moon gives it some stability, quote unquote. Gives it the divine masculine energy that especially with, I'm gonna get my hair back because I am sweating, especially if I'm sweating through everything, especially with Mars being in the sign of Leo. I'm not going to give any shade to Mars and Leo, but I'm going to give a little shade to Mars and Leo because Mars and Leo can be kind of a fuck shit. Mars and Leo can kind of be a fuck shit, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody with Mars and Cancer or Mars and Leo. You really got to kind of look at their actions. And if you're like in a situationship and you're like, I need to get out of this, is there a light at the end of this tunnel? Is there a rainbow at the end of this whole thing? Is there this dream life? Abso-fucking-lutely. Saturn wants that for you. Jupiter wants that for you. These transits want that for you. But the reality is this full moon's not going to give it to you right away. And believe me, as somebody who has Saturn, whose chart is riddled with I mean, not riddled, but like I was born into Saturn karma, and that's when I get into like some people's charts, especially certain generations' charts, are designed to heal generational wounds and trauma and karma and heal these quote unquote curses, these binds, these 3 of Pentacles that tie us to an old way, an old system. This full moon is letting us look at these old ways and these old systems and also kind of see some assholes through it. And also see some situations where we're like that again. There's another shooting. There's another derecho, there's another whatever situation. There's, it's asking us to ask these questions, ask these big fundamental questions. Do I have any more cards that want to speak? Like, I feel like my unicorn cards are just like chatty, and I'm only allowing one card to conclude the reading, and it's going to be a really good shuffle. We're really shuffling today. Every day we're shuffling, but today we're truly, we're shuffling on these trifling hoes. You know what I mean? Okay. Justice. We live to see it. We're here for it. Justice. Look, I said trifling hoes for a reason. So we are here sweating our asses off right now with humidity and hair. And I put some stuff in my hair to keep the humidity from justice. All right. This brings me into the section of political astrology. If you don't want to join me, then don't sip the tea with me. This is nice. It was kind of like iced mint tea, but I live in the United States, and this means this justice card, you know, sometimes you want to think about what happens. And last year I was living in Austin, Texas, when everything went down with Roe v. Wade and everything that went down this past week with the Supreme Court. This is the shit that Pluto and Capricorn is trying to reach, to demolish. So my heart goes out to anybody who felt like you were completely just wrecked by the system. And I think that we've got a lot to go when it comes to rights and human rights and all these things. And what I know from the astrology side is the North Node is going to be entering Aries. And I think that these long-term structures, we're going to get squares to Pluto. We're going to get some nice little squares to Pluto. And I think that these are some really helpful squares that are coming up. The North Node in Aries, it's not going to be an easy process. This has never been an easy process, but let this adorable unicorn justice card be a guide. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're just like, I feel unseen, I feel unheard, I feel like the system is against me, believe me, this is a time where these upcoming eclipses in Aries are going to be a game changer for society when it comes to action. I will talk about this in the future, but I love that this is kind of the final card that comes out for the full moon reading. I hope that everybody has an amazing full moon. I hope that you have an amazing week. This is a really special time to embrace the lunar energies, to embrace your inner healing, and just to know that we are all doing this at the same time. Nobody is left unscathed, or nobody's here without a homework assignment. So we're all here. You can't hide under a rock. You are here for it. So thank you for listening to Trust Your Glitter. I'm Christy Belich. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead.